Hey yogis, I'm here with you guys filming a yin video this time. And so for a practice of yin, we're going to be holding somewhere around 3 to almost 5 minutes for some of our postures. So I really encourage that you get an abundance of props used to support you. I have a pillow here, some rolled up towels, and then also I'm fortunate enough to have one yoga block. We'll use it for one posture to have something maybe a little bit more sturdy. So if you don't have a yoga block, books can work really well too, just to have something a little bit of a harder surface for a supported bridge. And then you can also place rolled up towel, anything on top, but we'll get into that. Let's go ahead. We're going to first find our way into a seated meditation just to begin, and then we'll kind of take off from there. We'll see where we go to. Well, let's find a tall seat. I'm going to use this pillow here just to prop up, lift my hips up a bit higher. And then just making your way into any seat that you prefer. You could be cross-legged, you could be sitting on shins. And beginning to close down the eyes. You can rest the hands facing down to receive a grounding energy. You can also place the palms facing up, receiving an energy from above, connecting us, grounding us, whatever it is that you might feel you need within this practice. And just taking a moment to drop into that intention, to allow ourselves to acknowledge that we are here on our mats, and that for this next hour or so together, that we are interested in our well-being of our mind, our bodies, and our spirits, whatever form that may come in for you. So begin to find a tall spine. Relax the shoulders. Release any tension around the neck, the jaw, the face. Beginning to blink the eyes open. And from here we'll move into seated cat-cows. Hold on to the knees. On an inhale, lift up through the chest, lift gaze, arching the spine. Exhale, round, tuck chin towards chest as you lean back, hold on. Inhale, begin to rise, lift up through chest, lift gaze. Exhale, round and curl, chin towards chest. One more, inhale, rise, lift up through chest, lift gaze. Exhale, round the spine, hold onto the knees, lean back. Come back up through center, and we're going to start rolling the spine. Lean to the right, forward, then towards the left. As you lean back, hold onto knees, towards the right, forward, then left. All the way back, one more big circle. And now switching directions to the left, forward, right, then lean back, left, forward, and right. Lean back, one more big circle, stirring the spine within the hips.
And then come back through center. We'll flow with breath, arching. Place the right hand to the outside of right hip. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and overhead. Exhale, lower left hand. Inhale, sweep right arm up and overhead. Exhale to lower right hand. One more. Inhale. Left arm sweeps up and overhead. Exhale to lower left hand. Inhale, sweep right arm up and overhead. Exhale to lower right hand. And then switching the legs, opposite shin in front. We'll take a seated twist, left hand to the outside of right knee, right hand places behind the low back. Twist belly, chest, gaze over right shoulder. And exhale, come back through center, switch right hand to the outside of left knee, left hand behind low back. Twist belly, chest, gaze over left shoulder. And exhale, come back through center. We'll roll over the tops of shins, remove any props, making our way into a tabletop position. As you stack shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, moving through thread the needle. On an inhale, sweep right arm up high. Exhale, right hand reaches past left wrist and left knee. As you settle in, if you notice you need support underneath the right shoulder, you might slide a pillow underneath or even a rolled up blanket, anything to support the body, even the head. And then settling in, maybe beginning to extend the left arm forward, up and overhead, and finding the sensation of breathing deeply to the back side of the body, opening up across the right shoulder blade. You might even slightly lean back, rolling towards the back side of the head. Breathe here. And beginning to support the body first, the left hand under left shoulder. Inhale, right arm sweeps up high towards ceiling. Exhale to lower the right hand. Switch, inhale, left hand reaching high. Exhale to thread the needle. Lowering the left shoulder, the ear and cheek down to the mat, maybe to support as needed. Any variations are welcome with the right hand. And settling in here. Notice any different sensations between the left and right sides. As you breathe to the left shoulder blade, allow the breath to expand. Feel the lightness in the upper body. And as you exhale, feel the body sink a little bit closer towards the mat. And once again, we support the body first, right hand under right shoulder. Inhale to sweep left arm up high towards sky. Exhale to lower the left hand. And from here, we're going to come into a melting heart. You might place a pillow to support underneath the forehead or chest, and then walking the hands forward, keeping the hips stacked over the knees. Make any small adjustments here, allowing the hips to sink closer towards the heels, more like a child's pose. You'll find more ease. Keeping the hips stacked directly over the knees, a bit more intensity. Allow the belly to soften here. And be sure to stay active through the arms, pushing the palms down and into the mat. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. And releasing here, walking the hands back towards the knees. We'll begin to make our way into a child's pose, bringing the big toes to touch, separating the knees out wide. You might use a pillow or a rolled up towel to place behind the knees if the hips don't quite sink down towards the heels. You can also support underneath the belly, the chest, using pillows, using any support that you may have. You might turn the gaze towards left or right, or allow the forehead, the third eye, to rest down towards the mat. And settle in here. With every exhale, allow the muscles to soften a little bit more. Relax around the shoulders, release any tension around the jaw, the neck. And surrender into the shape. Just notice the breath, the belly rising against the thighs. And your exhales, the softening, the releasing. For there is nothing to hold on to here. This is a shape of surrender, of nurturing, returning. Without changing anything, without moving a muscle. Just notice the mind and where your thoughts may drift off to. Notice what is it that captivates your attention most. When the body comes into stillness, often the mind gets a little bit more active. We don't need to circle around thoughts and patterns here. For there is nothing that can be done while we are here on our mats to solve, to change, to travel to the future, the past. But simply be here in the present moment as best you can, with the sensations in your body and with your breath. And as we exhale, we begin to release this shape, pressing the palms down and into the mat, rising up to tabletop, and then we'll begin to lower down to our bellies. As you lower onto your bellies, allow the arms to rest down by sides, the shoulders roll down and into the mat. Turning the gaze towards the left, we'll take a few breaths here. And switching the gaze towards the right, allowing the spine to even out, to balance and neutralize. Allow the body to be soft here. Now coming back through center, we'll find our way into a Sphinx pose, placing the elbows underneath the shoulders. Allow the legs to be heavy, the hips heavy against the mat. And then finding this action of pressing the forearms down and into the mat. Imagine drawing the armpits down towards the ground. And then, as if you're trying to drag yourself forward, lifting from the heart space up. You can find a gentle gaze off the brim of the nose or closing down of the eyes. And if you feel like your body is calling to go a bit deeper, you're welcome to find your way into seal, bringing the hands a bit wider than shoulders and straightening through the arms. Press the palms down and into the mat, and once again, dragging yourself forward. Draw the hands towards the hips, lifting up through the chest. And beginning to release. Lower the forearms down if you're lifted in seal, then lower chest, and then allow the body to roll over onto your back. We're going to bring along either a block or a book to find our way into a supported bridge. As you lower onto your back, it might feel nice just to pause here as I set up my props. And as we begin to find our way into supported bridge, lifting the hips up high, and then sliding the props underneath the sacrum, this flat bone that rests, a little bit higher than the tailbone, but slightly lower than the arch in the low back. You can take any variation with the arms here, sweeping up and overhead, opening through chest. And then we'll stay here in this gentle back bend shape before moving on to any variations. Just allow the body to be supported here. Give your body permission. For there's nothing here to grip or grasp, but rather feel your body being held by the support, by the earth underneath you. And now, if you'd like to begin to walk your feet a bit further, you can straighten through the legs, arching the back, allowing the hips to be the highest point, opening up across the front side of the body. And breathe deeply here. Feel the expansion in the chest. And as well, the gentle drawing in, returning to your center as you exhale. Beginning to walk the feet back towards the hips one at a time. From here, an option to extend the legs up towards the ceiling for a waterfall pose. Finding ease here without needing a lot of action from the core to hold you in this shape. So you may need to adjust the props. And then just another option, you can either allow the legs to remain together or separate the legs out wide, thinking like a wide-legged straddle. If this ever becomes too intense for the inner thighs, you can always place the hands to the outer edges of the thighs to support the body. And if the hands aren't already there, place them to the outer edges of the thighs and gently close the legs. Allow the knees to bend, lowering the soles of the feet down to the mat. I like to windshield wiper at least once to each side, but make sure that the hips aren't too high up on support, as long as it is safe and comfortable in the body. When ready, ground down through the feet. Inhale to lift the hips up high, slide the props out from underneath, and lower the body down. You might hug knees in towards chest, even rock side to side a few times. And options here, we're going to either find our way into a figure four or a half pigeon shape. So first, figure four. If you're remaining lowered onto your back, you'll inhale, reach right leg up high and cross right leg on left knee. You can take any variations, placing hands behind left thigh to shin, or if you'd like to come into a half pigeon, you'll find your way to a downward facing dog. You can pedal out the legs, shift weight side to side, and when ready, inhale, reach right leg high. Exhale to place the right knee behind right wrist and slightly outside. You can use support to place underneath the right hip. And then first adjust. Draw the right hip back. Press the left hip forward and down and into the mat. Take an inhale to find length, and your exhale to lower the belly and chest, maybe down to support. And then making any final adjustments for your shape. And then beginning to settle into stillness here as best you can. Notice the need for the muscles to twitch and adjust. Allow your body to make sure that it is in its best position for your relaxation, for your opening, for your intention. But wherever it may land, it is in stillness that we learn the deepest secrets of our bodies and our minds. One of my favorite instructors used to say, on the other side of boredom is liberation. And so commit to your stillness. Commit to your intention. And always listen to your body. If it is ever asking, begging to be released because of pain, then please listen. There's no need to fight your body. This can be a challenging shape, but it can also be one of the best openers for your hips and low back. But it takes gentleness, compassion for our bodies to arrive in that space. You will not get there by force. And beginning to release here from your half pigeon, pressing the hands down and into the mat. You might extend back to a three-legged dog and shake out the right leg, figure fours, releasing right ankle from left knee, maybe hugging knees to chest or windshield wipering legs. And when you're ready, we'll switch to the other side, placing the left knee behind the left wrist for half pigeon, left ankle to right knee for figure fours. Take time to support the body, setting up your shape. And then when you're ready, squeeze the inner thighs together, take a breath in, find length, and your exhale to fold forward. And just notice if there's any place that you're still holding on to, clenching, tightening around. Can you soften in these areas? Send your breath to these spaces in the body that you feel the most sensation. Allow your breath, your life force energy, prana, to expand around these areas, to help release anything that you might still be holding on to. Your breath is a powerful tool, but it is needed to be invoked by your consciousness and awareness. So we must feel deeply first. And using your next exhalation to begin to press the hands down and into the mat. Releasing the left leg, finding your way to a downward facing dog from pigeons, figure fours, any releasing movements that would feel good for your body. And eventually we all find our way to a seat, shifting the hips, extending the legs forward. We'll use the props for a Janu Shirshasana. You might elevate the hips, or you can also place maybe a pillow or a rolled up towel underneath the left thigh if you're noticing it's quite high away from the floor. And then for me, I'm using one rolled up towel in my block. You can find a folded shape to support underneath the belly and the forehead. Please get creative here to try and support the belly, the chest, and the head so that you may soften. When you're ready, take a breath in, find length in your exhale to fold forward. Make any small adjustments here so that you may find ease as best you can to release the muscles, to go deeper down into the tissues, to work into our joints, our ligaments and tendons, the health of our organs, and the meridians, these channels of energy through the body. In my own personal practice, I like to imagine drawing energy from the sole of my right foot, rising up through the leg, through the pelvic floor, all the way up to the crown of the head. And as I exhale, that energy is spread throughout my limbs, my arms, my fingers, back down through my legs, out through the toes, in all directions expanding. And so we find this energy once again drawing in on your inhale. Your exhale, expand, go beyond your body, beyond your limitations that may have been placed within the mind. You are so much more than just this physical body that is seen and represented in waking life. You are a divine soul, and your breath is the gateway to the infinity. Using your next exhalation to begin the release. An inhale, rise as you ever so slowly back up to a seat to place the hands behind the hips. Take a breath in, lift up through chest, lift gaze. And as you exhale back through center, we'll begin to switch, extending the left leg forward, placing the right sole, the foot to the inner left thigh, adjust any props as needed. When you're ready, find your inhale, find more length through the spine. Your exhale guides the fold forward. Notice the difference on the right and left sides of the body. For one shape in the beginning will not feel like the other side at the end. And so just observe how this side feels in this moment, without any need to judge or differentiate between the two. It just simply is. And once again, breathe here, be conscious and aware of your breath. Beginning our release with an exhale, an inhale to rise back up to a tall seat. Walking the hands behind the hips, inhale, lift up through chest, a lift of gaze. And exhale to return back through center. From here, we'll begin to find our way into a Supta Baddha Konasana shape, a laying down butterfly pose. I'm going to roll up a towel halfway and then place it horizontally across the mat to go just underneath the shoulder blades. I'll begin to set up the props as I bring the soles of the feet together, the knees go wide, placing a block and a pillow outside of the thighs, and then beginning to lower down, making sure that the towel is across the shoulder blades, so adjust as needed. And then any variation with the arms, extending them wide overhead. And then soften around the belly first. The hips are heavy. The chest is expanding up towards the sky. The legs and the soles of the feet are just ever so gently gracing the mat. There's a softness in the lower body, an arc around the spine, and then a heaviness through the shoulders, the head. The eyes are gently closed down. Notice the tongue and where it may rest in the mouth, if it is still active. Or can you soften here, even in every aspect of the body where we hold tension? It relates to the rest of the body. So notice, do a scan, observe where you may be gripping or holding on. And as best you can, try to give your body permission to release. And using your next exhalation to bring the hands to the outer edges of the thighs and close the legs like a book. You might lift up halfway, remove the prop from underneath you, and hug knees in towards chest. Massage the low back. And then you can even lower the soles of the feet in windshield wiper, flossing through the hips as they roll side to side. And bringing the legs back through center, we'll begin to set up our supine twist. So you might place props to the outside of the left hip as you bend the right knee, hugging it up towards the chest. And then left hand to the outside of right knee, right arm extends out wide in line with the shoulder. Begin to cross the right leg over the body towards the left side. You might land the knee, ankle, shin on top of your props. And then maybe taking the gaze over towards the right. In these final twisting shapes, this is where we reset the spine, we neutralize, and return it to its centered balance. As well, it's quite like for our organs, imagine a wet towel that you are twisting and wringing out. Any of the fluids that drip out of this wet towel are not part of the towel itself, but is something to be released from the towel. This is true for the organs as well. These twisting shapes, they compress and they help us to release anything that is not serving our body's highest good. Releasing of toxins, of stagnant energy. And using your next exhalation to release the shape, allowing the right leg to extend long, sweep arms up and overhead, a full body stretch. Switching the props to the other side outside of the right hip. And when you're ready, begin to hug the left knee up towards the chest. And extend the left arm out wide as the right hand comes to the outside of left knee. Take a breath in. Exhale to twist. The left leg comes across the body over towards the right. The gaze might fall towards the left, making sure that both shoulders are rested down against the mat. And soften the body. Release any tension around the core to force the twist deeper, for gravity will do the work here for you. All you have to do is to allow something outside of you, a force, to do the work, and you simply reap the benefits, the rewards, by not doing anything. And in that action of not doing, you are actually doing the most for your body. Using your next exhalation to begin the release, the left leg comes across the body. You can hug knees in towards chest. Take any final movements here that will allow you to feel complete within your practice. And as you feel ready, you'll begin to set up our final shape of Shavasana. You might place a pillow or blanket underneath the knees, maybe something to go over the hips and the belly. This can feel quite nurturing. And then allowing the arms and legs to extend wide. Make any final movements. And then come into your deepest rest. For you have done everything that you came here to do today so perfectly well. You have fulfilled your destiny in this moment. You have done it, and now we rejoice in stillness. We allow our bodies to absorb the many benefits of today's practice. Soften around the jaw, maybe even swallow once or twice. The breath is effortless and natural. The body is supported here. You can feel the space around you. Feel it on your skin, the temperature, the texture. And imagine as if it were holding you, that it were so happy to just be with you, that it was bringing you in like a warm hug, embracing you as you are without needing to change a single thing. You are loved. You are so valued and appreciated. Your life matters simply because you exist. You are a divine creation of this earth. Beginning to reawaken the body through the breath, welcoming a deeper inhale. You'll begin to stir the body, creating movements through fingers and toes, maybe sweeping arms up and overhead, and then eventually making your way off to one side, possibly through fetal pose. And we all find our way up to a seat with no rush to get there. Take your time. Bringing the hands into prayer at the heart center, finding a bowing of head towards heart. Taking a moment here of gratitude for yourself, making it onto your mats to nurture your bodies and tune within. It has been my greatest honor and pleasure. Placing the hands at the third eye, lifting the gaze, opening through heart. And as we exhale, we bow forward, honoring each other. Namaste. Many blessings upon your journey. Thank you.